January 1st, 2020. Let's play some King's Raid. $46, $48, $49, $50. Nope. Oops. Whoops. Doing well, man. Wow. Holy shit. We're doing exceptionally well here. About to hit 4.8 maybe? Wow. 5.4, holy shit. That is enormous. This is our highest score yet. I'm super blown away by this score. Wow. For Esker DPS, this is phenomenal. We were getting 3.6 earlier this week. We're at 5.4. I mean, Esker is advanced 1. I mean, he's got a really nice weapon. But look, he's only got 441,000 attack. 930 pen. I mean, he's got a lifesteal line in there. We could actually change that enchant if we have an attack. No. Really want attack. So pen or crit damage might be nice to get rid of this lifesteal line, but I use this guy for some other stuff. Having lifesteal is nice, so having 7% attack lifesteal doesn't blow my mind. Doesn't make me uncomfortable. Let's give it a shot again. So the thing about Esker here is he really wants to ramp up his S3. That's where all his damage comes from. Just gonna leave this guy on auto for a second. Because his cooldowns are short enough that oh fuck, shit, I fucked up. Shit, I forgot to do this. Ah. It might be a good time to stop and pause right here for a second. Hold on, we're gonna pause, leave here, and talk about the team comp and what we've got going on here. So Lavril brings crit damage and attack. Let's see. Lavril's bringing attack and crit damage and penetration. Her weapon has that effect at 5-star. Shay, you could use her for CC immunity, but I'm bringing her for this skill right here. And we're using her trance on this to double this effect. I don't care about enemies' buffs being cancelled, that's not helpful here. But this, super nice. Alright. Krisha is here just for this effect. Blue light takes 60% increased M damage. And the green light heal rate reduction is increased to 40% off of her default 30%. So it goes to 40% instead. So we need a total of 60% elsewhere, either for Mora's flame stacks or something else. And we get an extra 10% M damage on on her blue light from her UT. Esker, a lot of people use this perk on Esker. This is really for him to be able to... Here, I'll show you what the skill does. So, this here. 2 random allies. Stacked up to 10 times, and the number of targets increases by 1 pip rolled on the dice. So you have a chance to roll a 6, in which case 2 plus 6 is 8. But you also have a chance to roll a 1. So, given that this has a cooldown of 18 seconds, you really want, I mean, optimally, after 180 seconds, it's, you know, in 3 minutes you're fully stacked, and you've got, you know, extra, whatever, 42,000 attack and 70% crit damage, which is just great, you know, that's great to have. Here, increases damage to non-hero enemies by 3% per stack. This effect stacks 10 times. Sorry, right here, stacks 10 times. Wrong one. Also, while increasing his own attack and defense. His main attack skill, which is here, has 2 effects. That's 3. Deals 2.6 million damage, and it either reduces the skill cooldown by 2 seconds, or increases its damage by 30%. Now, it's one or the other, and you don't know what you're going to get. So, what this trans perk does is it makes sure that the cooldown reduction, meaning how frequently you can cast it, goes off first, and then when that's fully stacked, it increases the damage effect. So basically what you're saying here is, by the 20th time you've cast this skill, you're doing full max damage. After 10, you're at 2 seconds. So when we see that we're at 2 seconds on the timer, we know that that's halfway there. His damage is going to be terrible for the first 10 times, and will start to increase, you know, significantly after that. His S1 has a CC reduction, not CC bar reduction on this. Doesn't matter because this person isn't stunnable. This boss isn't stunnable, and it does does 640,000 damage. All 3 of them won't land on the same enemy, so we use this artifact because the fight is 3 minutes and 30 seconds. 3.5 times 60 seconds is 210 seconds. So given that we have 200 seconds, which means really of 21% increased damage, this is their best artifact we've got. If you have something like Book of the Mad that's high star, or Pumpkin, let's see, Angry Pumpkin, this has no timer on it. It's the same thing. It scales just as well. 1-star version of this does 12. 1-star version of this does 12. But I just happen to have a 3-star version of Fantastic Hybrid Animals and only a 1-star Pumpkin because this is an event artifact. It's harder to get. There are 3 enemies here, so having a Blessing of Earth is not going to help you. He doesn't deal damage often enough to use this. Something like the Ancient God King's Coin is okay, but 29% attack and crit damage is nowhere near as much as 21% increased damage total. We're using this treasure because, number 1, it has amp, and it reduces the mana cost on your skill that you're trying to spam. For bosses where he's not the main DPS, or bosses where his S2 can be dispelled, this is your UT of choice. The other 2 are not worth using. May, a couple of things going on here. You're using her UT4. Changes the target to all enemies. What her skill 4 does, every 15 seconds, it deals damage to 4 random enemies. So, cool. The likelihood is that 4 random enemies out of 3 possible targets, likely all of them are getting hit, but maybe not. But this is what you really want, is it applies this amp to everything. More mana is always better. This only goes off once when the skill goes off, so an 11-second cooldown. This is really just my least favorite of her perks at this point, because 15% chance for 1 orb. This guy, man. Okay, so let's talk about May's S1. All allies' attack is increased by 4.6k for 120 seconds. 4,360. Just remember that number. It's to be stacked 5 times max. Oh no, we were saying it can be stacked 8 times max. So that means she gives 37,000 attack once fully stacked. Defense penetration by 70. So 70 times 8 is 560 defense pen. And attack speed of 100 times 8 is 800. Well, that's cool. But her weapon also increases the defense pen and attack speed by 42 at this star. So 42 plus, what was this, 70? 70 defense pen is 112 times 8. 896 pen on this fight is enormous. This is a fight where you just need all the penetration you can get, within reason. Basically, your main DPS should have around 1,000 sheet DPS, 1,000 sheet penetration. So everybody's gonna be attacking fast, and because the boss can't be CC'd and can't be shred, heroes like Philip and Jane aren't really super useful here. That's why we bring her. One of the many reasons. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We have Annette to talk about. Annette brings CC immunity. 25% amp. CC immunity. Heals. Stun, that doesn't really matter to us. And her overcharge effect, which every time she casts a skill, she gets charge. Every time she attacks, she gets charge. For 4-star, every 0.9 seconds she gains a stack of charge. So she wants to have 100 stacks of this charge. When she's overcharged, at 100 stacks, her attack increases, and for 15 seconds, each auto attack reduces the skill cooldown by 10%, so she can cast more frequently. The effects cannot be dispelled, and it says charge will not stack during the overcharged state, meaning when you're in overcharge, you can't be stacking up skills, but more overcharge in the interim. But what this does, this stack can be gained while in overcharged state. So every time you're attacking, you gain 2 stacks, and over here, so really this is what's helping you out, just this one. So you want her to be attacking very quickly. I've only got, I don't know, 1360 attack speed, but keep in mind, May is going to give us, what was it, 70 plus 42, no, 142 times 8, 1136 attack speed. So she'll have plenty of attack speed. Her trans perks, more M damage, lower cooldown, longer overcharge. Her attack is, 5% of her attack is given to her allies, and her attack speed's increased while in overcharge. And this just to get more crit damage for all our friends. So Priscilla, Priscilla is being used as an off tank here. You can tell by her very defensive spec. You know, I've got defense out the ass and a bracelet for more defense and orb with defense, what have you. Runes with defense on them. Velks just for the defense. So because her weapon's so low star, let's talk about her kit for a second. Skill 2, which is really her premier, I don't know, the reason you bring her is this. So you get an attack boost of equal to 15% of Priscilla's attack, plus 16,438. Cool. Spells and negative effects from that person. Turbulent Dance. Draws nearby enemies, that doesn't really work here, and makes them take 30% extra damage for 10 seconds on a 22-second cooldown. So, Vital Strike. Whatever. Not super useful. So, when attacking the enemy, her unique ultimate weapon, or unique weapon, sorry. I always mix it up. When attacking the enemy with Vital Strike or Turbulent Dance, 1 or 3, these skills, for every hit enemy, corresponding skill's cooldown is reduced by 1.2 seconds, and attack speed is increased. Cool. So, using the skills reduces the skill's cooldown. We use this UT. Another UT is crap, whatever. This one right here. Coordination, which is our S2, increases attack boost by 24% and reduces cooldown of that hero with the highest attack by 30%. So the flat attack boost of this by 20%, not a big deal. Not sure actually, it might be more than that. Either way, cooldowns reduced, that's enormous. On a 15-second cooldown with, yeah, so her trans perks. So here, when she uses that skill, auto attacks increase the target's damage received from all sources by 30%. So 30% amp from that, 30% amp here, total of 60% amp along with cooldown reduction. The attack boost from her S4, which is pretty small, is increased 40%. That's probably not worth it, to be honest. This might be better to take. In fact, let's do that. Sure. So, got a couple things going on here. Attack raises to equal to half of PDEF. So, because this is based off 15% of her attack, and half of this 128,000 PDEF is 114,000 attack. We went for tons of PDEF on this hero, given that even if we went crazy with all attack gear, number one, her functionality as an off tank wouldn't do so well. She'd be less useful. But because she's only got a 1-star weapon, it's not going to do a lot. I mean, it probably would be more attack, but this lets me serve two purposes. One, the off tank, and two, make use of all that defense you've got by increasing her own attack. She got this, increases allies attack and PDEF by 3% of own attack and PDEF. So having high PDEF helps people be more survive more. Mora. Okay, so a few things going on here. Her weapon's awesome. Reduce the attack of the target and makes them take more M damage. M damage boost is doubled. Whatever. That's cool. She does do some respectable damage. I choose this UT on her just because it gets flame stacks a little bit faster, and that's the biggest challenge for me, is having to not wanting to restart the fight. This was an event treasure or event artifact, and because in the lasers phase, everyone's being attacked so frequently, this thing is just going off all the time. Team-wide HP buff. People that she attacks take more damage. You need this. Target with over 100 flame stacks. Take 40% M damage, which is super great. And flame stack damage is increased by 100%. Super cool. Because, like I said, even with this 79,000 attack, no crit, basically no crit. I don't know if she must have some crit from. Maybe I haven't re-rolled her treasures, so maybe she's got some random crit here. Maybe she's got some stupid crit line somewhere. Oh, right there, yeah. Okay. I mean, I could re-roll that, but I just haven't gotten around to it. The only amount of defense you need is enough to not die. So this boss. M damage, M damage, M damage. It makes me actually wonder why I have physical defense stuff on her. Sure. There you go. Not that she dies, so it doesn't really matter. Like, so that's the team. You've got her. Oh, I never talked about her. One of the main reasons we bring her. So, right here. So all of her skills, for the most part, most of them 1 stack of flame. This one doesn't. Fire smash, 3 stacks of flame. 1 stack of flame. Each flame stack deals separate M damage and reduces heal rate by 1%. So if you go back to, for example, this, which says we can get, you know, up to 120 stacks, we could reduce the target's heal rate by 120%. This boss has a mechanic right here. Let's see. Abyssal Nightmare deals M damage to all allies and heals own HP for every half second for 10 seconds. Upon every heal, permanently reduces damage taken. That's huge. So anytime she heals, you'll see a little yellow shield with a 1, 2, 3, 4, some number at the bottom right corner. That's how many stacks she has. So if she heals, let's say Mora's got 99 stacks up. That's 99% heal reduction. But even the tiniest little heal will still stack that damage reducing debuff. So it's super important. If you aren't, you know, if you don't have a Mora, you have got to use a sunstone, a solar stone. You've got to, which reduces their heal rate by 43%. There's other heroes. Lavril, I think this has a, yeah, attack speed, heal rate reduced. Weird. Oh, it must be bear up. Here we go. I forget where it is. I thought she had a heal rate reduction. Well, maybe it's her soul weapon. But either way, so Mora and Krisha. Krisha's S3. Green light, heal rate reductions increased to 40%, are making up our ability to reduce that boss's heal rate so much. So what you'll see here is if I don't have enough stacks, we start getting that debuff, we just restart the fight, because there's no point in even trying. There's no penalty for restarting a world boss. So here's where we've got 46, 50, 53, 57, 68. Okay, cool. Alright, now that we're over 100, we can switch to start actually using Mora. I'm sorry, Krisha. I'm just going to pause the fight here. You don't see any of the shield icon with numbers in the bottom right. This is Feather. This is Krish's S2. This is something. This is Esker's effect. Esker. This is that Juno's special desserts thing that our tanks are using. That has a 20% chance to proc. Look, keep her out for that because it goes off so much, especially during the laser's phase. And then a bunch of other just random stuff there. So. Oops. Well, that's not good. So I wasn't really paying attention. It looks like I didn't use one of Esker's S3. So it's like we said before that it's super important to get his S3 off as quickly as possible. Given how short of a fight this is. We turn off auto because his S2 is fully stacked now. Got CC'd twice here. It's not ideal. So 4.8, this would normally be a great score, but we got CC'd twice, and so I'm gonna try this again. Skip this song, it's kind of repetitive, annoying. Alright, so we got 60 stacks of Mora's debuff. Flame stacks, which means we're golden. 96. Pew pew! So far so good. Alright, so we're done with auto now. We need to start actually manually casting this stuff. Pew pew! Oops. Well, that's okay. We didn't really make a huge mistake. Krisha used the wrong skill order. Not a very good run, it actually. Not sure what went wrong here. I feel like we did everything we needed to do. And we really weren't watching what was going on with Lavril, to be honest, so maybe something there. So this is actually not optimal. She did an extra rotation in there, so we might not get a good run. We'll see. Take Esker off auto. We should be around 2 million at 1 minute. ideally. So we're a little bit behind. Good run. Pew pew. Totally acceptable. I'll take it. Probably could do better, but I'm not gonna push it. There's some RNG involved here, so. See, the day before yesterday I was at 30, then 29, back to 30. So this is definitely a non-meta team, but pretty happy with this result, all things considered. It's a fun team to play around with that meets the needs for this boss. Is able to obviously go to the end of the fight without anybody dying, and has enough actives for it to be fun to do. Someone like Saria is much more meta. She's Artemia, but man. So Saria's S1. It's everybody, and it's does a lot. There we go, that's the one. So the first one makes them take more damage, and the second one ignores enemy defense. This is huge for this boss, as we talked about penetration being so important. You know, even with all this penetration, Esker's skills have no ignore defense. So they're doing just a bunch of damage, because it's 300% more damage. This is just character sheet damage before any amps or buffs. I mean, I think that if we look back on that, each one of those was doing something like, I don't know, 200 or 300 billion damage by the end there. It's ridiculous, and that's with no ignore defense. Yeah, so Artemia, I don't use this hero. So I don't know how it is that she does so much damage, but she needs a ton of penetration too. So anyway, I think these are some good runs. We're making progress on this boss, given that, I don't know, let's see. What were we doing on this boss last month? I'll just look at my YouTube channel. Let's see, World Boss 3. See, 4 months ago we were doing nearly 1 trillion videos. Sort by newest. So a month ago we were doing 3 trillion. Earlier this week we were doing 3.5, 3.6, 3.7. We got up to 4.2 and 4.5 yesterday. Yeah, progress. It's good. Alright, I'm signing off. This is a long video. See ya.